welcome to Two Wheels Better. Now this beach was the scene of battles, not with Norman invaders, but with mods and rockers. Mods were on scooters, rockers on motorbikes. This is Brighton, and this is the Ace Cafe reunion. This is Mark WILMSMORE. This is the chap with the well, it's not an unfortunate job, is it? You're quite happy to do it. Mark is the guy who's behind organising the Ace Cafe reunion, and he's also doing some marshalling. You've got a busy job for yourself today.
Yeah, it's 1,001 things to do, and it always falls down to muggins at the end of the day to see it through.
Shame. Tell us, what is today all about? I mean, Ace Cafe is in London. Why are you down at Brighton today? What's the link?
Well, I'm passionate about British history and our bikes and our music. That's all captured in the Ace Cafe.
Yeah.
I want to see the Ace Cafe reopen, and we're working towards that. We've got the site now, planning consent, etc. But when we held the first reunion at the site, the numbers that turned up clearly meant that we couldn't do it there again.
Yeah.
And there is a obvious, to me, an apparent connection with Brighton. Brighton not only has that connection with mods, rockers and all that history of the 60s, but it's actually an event town.
Yeah.
What better place to have crowds of people together?
Especially in the sun like this, I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? Now, the Ace Cafe itself, what was, for a lot of our viewers, they won't know of it, but I mean, the heyday of the Ace Cafe, when would you say that was?
Well,
I don't want any rude comments.
From what I can gather, that is 1955, 1965.
Yeah.
Society changed. As the 60s progressed, roads changed, and the need for the cafes diminished.
Yeah.
Since then, it's changed once again. And in my view, it's high time we had somewhere like in Brighton where you can get fish and chips, where you can get steak and kidney pie and things that all sounds rather silly.
No, it doesn't.
But it's being passionate about who we are.
Yeah.
Not what you ride or how you ride it, but just who we are.
That's right. So it won't just be for rockers, it's for the modern motorcyclists,
right.
the older motorcyclists, just whoever, really.
That's it, and it's about sharing a history.
Where actually is the Ace Cafe?
North Circular Road, near Hanger Lane, North West End.
That sounds like an advert to me. Even though this is the Ace Cafe reunion and you think of rockers, etc., it's not just old bikes and old people, there's new people and new bikes as well. So you've got all sorts coming here, and not only that, they're coming from around the UK, and they're coming from mainland Europe, Holland, France, Germany, absolutely everywhere. So we've got thousands of visitors here, including continental visitors. Our friend here from Germany. Where are you
Hello.
come? Hi.
Hi.
What a friendly German you are. Where have you come from then?
From Aachen.
Uh-huh.
It's by Cologne, 40 miles.
Uh-huh. And what's the attraction with coming here to this Ace Cafe reunion?
My friend has says, what do you mean for this? Come mate.
Yeah.
We go to England.
Uh-huh.
I was the first time in England.
Yeah.
It's a very fine land.
And you like it, yeah?
I like it. I think so.
What sort of bikes are you riding?
I am riding Honda.
Uh-huh.
It's a good bike.
Like,
a
yeah.
shopper.
All right.
I must have a good shopper.
Oh yes, I've noticed that.
I cannot show.
But not a Harley then, no?
No.
No, okay. And what
you must everything work.
Oh, no. What about classic bikes over in Germany? You know, do you get many sort of old Nortons and BSAs?
The BMW.
Yeah, and BMW. Yeah. The gummy coo, you call it, don't they?
Gummy coo, yeah.
Yeah, the gummy coo, which is that's the flexible frame of a BMW, yeah. Okay, well, have a good day. Thanks very much.
Many thanks. Bye.
Where have you come from to come to the Ace Cafe?
We come from Belgium together with my friend.
Uh-huh.
We live near Bruges, which is about 25 kilometers away from the sea.
Yeah.
And I know a few friends here in Poynings. Sussex four-wheel drive. A friend has a garage.
Yeah.
I used to work here for a while,
Uh-huh.
and I got invited, so this is why we're here for.
Oh, right. Why not? So, have you been before? Did you come last year?
No, I wasn't here last year. No,
No.
this is great. This is beautiful.
Yeah. What do you think of it? Well, you said it really there. Have you got anything like this in Belgium?
No, it does not exist in Belgium. It's a pity.
Yeah.
I think we should organise something similar.
Yeah. Well, there's a job for
Yeah.
you. Can I ask you? Can I ask you what you ride?
I have a BMW 24-year-old bike, 600,
Yeah.
and my friend rides on 1100 LT, which is the new version.
Ah, right. Okay.
Brand new bike.
Yeah. Oh, very nice
Very
too. You didn't fancy the new 1200 Cruiser then?
Not yet.
No.
Maybe next year. we
Maybe.
never know.
Yeah. It's just been launched here.
It all depends what we're earning.
Okay. Well, thanks
If we
very
make
much.
good money, we buy another one.
Oh, well, why not? Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much.
The Dinosaur Club, not a very nice thing to be called, is it? As people of sort of more mature years, like yourself and I, what's this Dinosaur Club all about?
Well, we thought the name represented us people that have been returned from the from the dead, if you like. So, yeah, the Dinosaur Club was formed 7 years ago to try and keep people riding 60s motorcycles and keep the rock and roll going. And of course, with Rockers Reunion getting bigger and bigger, so. We were there 7 years ago, so we flowed along with it, and our club's got bigger because of it, which is nice.
And you've got this beautiful gold star here, which I recognise from me being a lad, as it were. And you like this one?
The Gold Star was the bike that, when we were all 16 years old, is a bike that everybody wanted. I couldn't afford one when I was 16, so I promised myself before I got too old to kick one over.
Yeah.
They are a pig to kick over, but I would get one. So. I've managed to get it. At 53 years old, I've made it.
You eventually made it.
Got it.
Yeah, because these were, this was the days of no helmets, wasn't it? And tearing about and racing with your mates on Bonnievilles and road rockets and all the rest.
It was, and if we think back to some of the things we did when we were 16 and 17,
on bikes,
pretty
you mean?
frightening. Yeah, on bikes, it's pretty frightening.
You used to go to the Ace Cafe, didn't you, in the days of the cafe? Were you what they call a cafe bar cowboy?
Yeah,
then?
well, unfortunately, at 53 years old, I was actually a ton-up boy. And ton-up boys were around before rockers.
Yeah.
Of course, the name rockers started when the scooters came on the scene, so you ended up with mods and rockers, but the early days we were actually ton-up boys.
Right, yeah, and that's when ton-up was being something, wasn't it? Bikes could have just married 106, I seem to remember 110, and you were really travelling.
Yeah, the idea was that you couldn't put 100 on your jacket until you'd actually done it. So it was very frustrating. You couldn't really have 98 on your jacket.
No, not the done thing. So there we are. And so what's the attraction with today then? Is it very much nostalgia, is it?
I think it's basically we all call ourselves recycled teenagers.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's lovely that we can continue riding the bikes we love. We can, and it's nice to go out with big groups. We now go to cafes again. We go to rock and roll concerts. And I think the youngsters that are coming into it today, you've only got to ask them one question. You ask them why are they doing it, and they say the same thing. Because you had the best times.
Yeah.
And I think they're right. We had interesting bikes, a big variation of bikes, and we had great music. So, and that's why many youngsters are coming into it today. Which is good.
And talking about music, I mean, the Gold Star had that beautiful exhaust note, didn't it, with that little twitter on the overrun.
Yeah.
And people talk about noise regs. I mean, they haven't heard anything until they heard a Gold Star, have they?
That's right. It's a lovely sound, and it still, it still gives us a butterfly in my hearing. It's a beautiful sound.
Well, if our microphone can stand it, perhaps we could have a quick twitter. All right.
If it starts. And it's a Gold Star, they don't always start first time.
Oh, because they do. Now, not only are the Gold Stars, which is a single cylinder, there's also the Rocket Gold Star, which is a 650 twin, but it still makes a beautiful noise. Well, not everyone has come to the Ace Cafe reunion. We're actually there in the beginning. There's a couple here who went, I'm sure. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah, we were there at the beginning, yeah.
You hasten to add. so what's the attraction with the Ace Cafe reunion to you?
Well, I've always been into motorcycling, and obviously there's going to be a vast amount of very, very old motorcycles here, and I think that's one of the main attractions. People come down to see all the old Triumphs and Nortons and so forth, and it's obviously one of the biggest events of the year.
That's right, so it's a bit of a nostalgia trip
Very much so,
for both of you.
Yeah.
And now I happen to notice you got a little Yorkie down your jacket here. Do you ride a sidecar outfit then?
No, I used to, but I don't now.
Yeah. And so, can I ask, where does the dog sit?
She actually sits in a tank bag on the tank. Yes. Actually, if anyone wanted to know that we did Bike Magazine did an article on this in the October's issue.
Yeah.
And there was a picture of her actually in the tank bag there.
So you don't zip her up in there, does she?
Yeah, no, she's actually zipped up. She's got a lead on, but her head sticks out.
All right. She got goggles and a helmet?
No, well, we're looking for that. We can't find one that'll fit her at the moment.
Well, this is Jessica, an avid viewer of ours. See what can happen if you say, I watch two wheels better. You end up on television. Jessica, you had a good day here today?
Yeah, I've had a great day.
Yeah, it's all a bit old for you though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. A bit past my time, I'm afraid, yeah.
But nevertheless, you've enjoyed it and seen all the nostalgia and all the rest.
Yeah, it's been a really great day out.
Right.
Worth coming to Brighton for.
So where have you come from today?
I've come from Portsmouth.
Yeah, but that was a nice ride anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. We came through the Sussex Downs, about 70 mile ride the way we went.
Oh, good. And you like the Bandit?
Oh, I love it. It's a lovely bike.
Yeah.
Recommend it for anyone.
Excellent. And who's your little friend here?
This is Buckingham. I've just won him on Palace Pier.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, great stuff. Well, look, you mind how you go on the way home?
Okay.
He's not going to fall out, is he?
No.
Okay.
No, he's perfectly safe.
Keep watching the programme. All
Right,
right,
will
Jessica.
do.
Cheers
Thanks
then.
a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, one thing you can see around here on leather jackets is the 59 sign, which is also behind me on little badges all over the place. And Bill SHERGOLD here is the guy who started the 59 Club. Good to see you, Bill, after all these years.
Great.
Can you tell me something about the background to the 59 Club? How did it all start?
Well, we started a youth club in 1959 in the East End at Hackney Wick. It was opened by Cliff Richard, actually, in the shadows.
Sir Cliff now, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Sir Cliff, yes indeed. And it was just an ordinary youth club really, for a while, and then I began to get interested in motorbikes, and eventually founded a motorcycle section of the club.
Yeah.
And
that came a few years later, did it? In the early 60s?
In the early 60s, that's right. It started really just a one-off thing. We had a service for motorcyclists and a party and a film show.
Because the coverage you got in those days was fantastic, wasn't it?
Every single paper except the Times, I think, had a coverage. Really big ones, you know. So Ton Up Boys Get a Blessing, that's all over the headline.
So what started, I know you said the background about the youth club, but I mean, what was it? Was it to get all these bikers on the straight and narrow, was it?
Well,
was that to get them in your flock?
Begin with, it was just a bit of fun. Let's have a ball at Hackney, you see.
Yeah.
And I went to the Ace Cafes very nervously to invite them to come, because I thought I might sort of land up in the canal or something like that.
But you didn't?
No, they were marvellous. They said, well, where is it? How did we get there?
Yeah.
And quite a lot of them turned up on the Sunday for this do.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I went back with all the cuttings of the pictures to the Ace, and then they said, well, come along with us to the Busy Bee tonight, and that sort of thing. And I got to know them, and then people said, well, my mate's in hospital, he's had an accident, will you go and visit him? And another one said, I'm in trouble with the law, will you come and put a good word in for me? And I began to realise that nobody really wanted them anywhere. And what they desperately needed was a club where they'd be accepted.
Yeah, and it says something, doesn't it? It's now nearly 40 years on, and the club's still going. Yeah. Now, Goldwings, an acquired taste to many people, and I must say I haven't yet acquired that taste myself. But if I did, would I jazz it up and customise it like this, or would I go one stage further and convert it into a trike, making the two-wheeler into a three-wheeler? If I was to do that, we'd come here to Goldwing International near Knutsford in Cheshire and see how it's done. Graham, I can see we've got a bike here that you're converting at the moment. When did you start doing these conversions?
Well, it all started about 4 years ago, actually. We had a few customers that wanted Goldwings but found they were either too heavy for them or the legs weren't long enough to touch the floor.
Right.
So they weren't interested in the sidecars, so the next thing was a trike.
Yeah, and so makes it easy peasy, as it were.
That's right.
So since then, in 4 years, has there been a big demand? How many do you think you've done?
We've probably done altogether about 10 trikes.
So your customers decided that he wanted to trike his wing. How long would it take, you know, from start to finish?
Well, it's quite a long job, really. It'd probably take about, all in all, from start to finish, about 30 hours.
Right. And so is that in effect a week you'd be without his bike then, would it?
About a week, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Do you have to actually cut anything off the bike, or?
There's only two actual cutting jobs you have to do. One's the rear pannier frame,
Yeah.
which has to be cut off because you don't need your panniers no more with it being a trike. And then the rear shaft itself.
And that's a modification. But other than that, the bike isn't really structurally altered that much, and you could reconvert it back then.
That's correct.
when
It
the
can be converted back if necessary.
So down to the nitty-gritty bit then, the money at the end of the day. If someone just wanted to buy the kit, what sort of money are we talking on for the kit on its own?
Well, for the basic kit, it's £5,995, but we do a service that we can complete the bike with specialist paintwork for an extra £1,000.
All right. Okay, so for just under 7, he gets a completely converted bike, something to stand out in the crowd.
That's correct, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so this is the kit of parts. Looks fairly straightforward. I think even I could tackle this one.
Yeah.
Take us through from perhaps the drive side there with the drive shaft first.
Well, the drive shaft is probably the most hardest bit of all the kit, actually.
Yeah.
It has to be measured and cut to a certain length, and a new joint has to be welded onto there, which it must be done by a professional welder.
Yeah. Because all the power's going through that, isn't it? And,
Correct.
And that's the bit that's going to fit onto the back axle unit,
That's-
yeah?
yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So that's the major mechanical bit. What else? What are these nice little engineered bits and pieces?
It's the standard fitment, but it's just extended to accept the frame strengtheners.
Okay, so those.
That's those, yes.
What do? Do you weld those onto the frame or stick them or what?
They can be welded, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And that then fits in the main swinging arm unit.
Correct.
So that swinging arm, I can see. Was that the one you took off?
Well, it's a standard swinging arm,
Yeah.
and as you can see, the new swinging arm has been braced and more heftier.
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it? The welding on that.
Yeah.
But the same thing, the shaft runs down this tube, same as it did on that one.
That's correct.
Okay. And then what else? That is the main sort of running part. And then, what, shock absorbers bolt onto the bottom of there then, do they?
Well, the shock absorber's fastened onto the shock absorber arm,
Yeah.
and then the other one's fastened to the rear axle.
Right. So is this the top mounting
That's the
point?
top of the mounting,
and,
yeah.
and then that's the bottom one, is it?
No, the bottom one's on the axle itself.
All right. So, and then the swinging arm itself bolts onto that framework.
Correct.
I've got you. Fine. And are these the shock absorbers that are supplied with the
Those are
with the kit
supplied
then?
with the kit, yes.
These are the standard ones. Great. Dead easy then. No
Simple,
trouble at all.
No problem at all.
Does the bodywork come already screwed to the kit, or is that removable?
No, the bodywork's removable. You can actually, it's quite light in weight, so you can actually pick it up.
Oh yeah, just like that. And this is the business end, and this looks suspiciously like a car axle to me.
That's correct, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a car axle that's been cut down, shortened, and welded again.
Right. So half shafts are being cut down as well, and the tubes cut down.
Yeah.
Standard differential, really.
That's right, yeah.
And then this massive swinging arm actually then bolts up to these two rigging plates.
That's right.
Like so.
Yeah.
There we are, Graham. I told you I could do the job. Yeah.
Simple.
Simple. So all these bits and pieces, recognisable from a wing, in a slightly dirty state for the guards. But all these, do these go back to the customer?
They go back to the customer if he wants them, yes.
And do most customers want them, or do they?
Well, they do, yeah, because it's quite expensive, all the panniers and the rear wheels, and they can get rid of them quite easy.
Yeah. But if they did want to convert it back, keep hold of the bits, you can go. And other than for the drive shaft, they've just got to buy a new drive shaft then, because you can hardly weld it back together. Yeah. And there we go, all done. Excellent. Well, we've seen all the component parts, we've seen how a kit goes together, and this is the finished article. And this, I won't call you the finished article, George, but this is the proud owner. George, you've been a Goldwing man for some years, haven't you?
Yeah, nearly 14 years.
Yeah, it's a long time. And what about the trike then? How long have you had that?
2 years in March.
And tell me, after being a sort of a dedicated wingman, what actually brought the change to a trike then?
Nearly 3 years ago, I had an accident. And while I was in hospital, one of the blokes brought me a magazine with all the trikes in, and Graham said I would be a lot better off on a trike, so I thought, well, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
And now I really like it, and I've got used to it.
Yeah. And that was it? No regrets then, as far as you're concerned?
No regrets whatsoever.
And what do you actually use it for? I mean, holiday touring, is it everything?
Yeah, a lot. Holiday touring, yeah.
And I understand you're taking it abroad as well?
Yeah.
Do you have to have a sort of a ferry to yourself, do you, with this?
Well, we go to the Isle of Wight quite often, and I really like it over there.
Yeah.
And while I was in Cyprus, I met a bloke that has a pub over there, so that's another incentive to go.
All right. Oh, that's good. What, and take the wing with you?
Yeah, oh yeah, we'll take the wing, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, great stuff.
Well, we have a wingding in the Isle of Wight next year.
Yeah.
But if we go down to Hampshire this year, I will definitely go across and see this Neil that has he has the white mouse.
Yeah. What, on the Isle of Wight?
On the Isle of Wight, yeah.
Oh, great stuff.
So,
And tell me, it must have taken some getting used to when you changed from a solo to a trike.
when I first got it, I was all over the place. It took me about a month to get used to it. It's entirely different.
Because Graham was saying earlier when I was chatting to him, if you've driven a car, you're better off driving a trike than if you come as a biker, and you're a dedicated biker, aren't you? Yeah. And so, was that the problem? Was it one of sort of wanting to lean and?
Yeah, lean, and the width of the front is smaller than the width at the back, and I was getting a bit too close.
Yeah. And
so we stuck some little plastic under it to give me the width. So you know,
with little flags on or something.
Yeah, if they'd go through, I could go through.
Great stuff. Well, it looks a nice finished job. It looks like a giant sort of Tonka toy, doesn't it, really? But that's not to be derogatory. But I mean, it's imposing, and no doubt it attracts lots of admiring glances.
Quite a lot of people asking about them. Always how much, what it'll do.
And all the rest. Well, look, can I ask you something? I mean, you said you took time to get used to it. I've ridden a sidecar outfit many years ago, but can I have a go on this?
Yes,
get my kit?
Definitely, yeah. Welcome.
You're going to trust me?
Yeah.
Good man. I'll do that.
Sure, but all right.
Thanks, George.
Right.
Now, most of you probably know that the Goldwing has got a reverse gear, but this is when it comes into its own when it's a trike. Just watch this. Pull out this lever, sneak it up, keep the engine running, but you actually press the starter button again, and backwards you go. Dead easy.